Okay, looks like we are recording and we are live. So happy Taurus moon. We are meeting right now on Thursday, November 14th. We are not in the official full moon yet, but the full moon is in Taurus this time around, and the moon is officially in that sign now. We will peak with the full super moon on Friday afternoon, just before 3:30 in the afternoon Central Time. And this particular moon is at its perigee, meaning it is the closest to the Earth as it can get, making it a full supermoon. And if we can see the supermoon tomorrow night, it's going to look exceptionally big and bright. And it is the fullest, most supermoon that we are having this year. So get excited about the energy. We're going to talk all about it tonight and what this Taurus full supermoon means. We're also going to talk about other current cosmic transits. We've got some things going on with Mercury, Pluto, Saturn, and Venus, and we will talk about all of those tonight. We will also discuss the Vedic astrology of this moon being in Kritika Nakshatra. We will do a breathwork practice collectively tonight, and I will share the tarot reading that I have pulled for past, present, and future guidance. So I just want to welcome you into our circle tonight. If this is your first time tuning in, if you're catching the replay, my name is Vina Lene Rachel. I am a moon priestess and intuitive. My spiritual name, Vina, means channeler of the divine, and that is exactly what I'll be doing for the next hour or so. I will be channeling cosmic information to you just to help you understand a little bit more about what's going on right now with our energy. So before we officially drop into our full moon circle, I always like to start with deep breathing. It's just a great way to ground and get more present. So let's do that now. Whether you're seated or standing, can you find more posture? Can you align your spine so your breath has a lot of room to move all the way into the body and all the way out of the body? Once you find that posture, take a deep breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth, just like a gentle sigh, and then just breathing normal after, but maybe kind of shaking things up, loosening up any tension in the body, feeling more connected and grounded, feeling heavier. Let's do that again. Deep breath in through the nose. Maybe sip in a little bit more at the top. And then exhale, fully release. Maybe some vibration, just like some sound, shaking out, letting go. And on this last one, if you want, you could reach your arms out overhead, take a big stretch, deep breath in, maybe a little bit more at the top. Exhale, let it all go. Get present. Be here now. I want to take a moment just to grab a quick drink of water. I have been teaching tonight for the past 2.5 hours. I am here at my yoga studio at Mother Moon Yoga here in Southeast Iowa. And I had a private group and then I had my class. And so my throat is a little bit dry right now. I'm just going to wet that whistle. All right. So we are going to talk a lot about the astrology of what's at hand tonight. But of course, if you are here live, if you're a 13 Moons member, if you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to share about this moon, feel free to utilize the chat tonight. We have that chat there for anything that we need in this live session. And we do these live sessions in the membership so that you can get all of your questions answered because, of course, you are here to learn more about astrology. Now, I also wanted to take just a quick note before we get started to let you know some very exciting news. Some of you have been asking me if I plan to make an astrology course. I have several digital courses online, and my most recent one was about the chakras called Align, but a lot of you have asked me to make an astrology program or maybe some sort of astrology certification program. And I'm happy to announce that Astro-School is coming. Astro-School will officially open with Aquarius season in January, but enrollment will open for the school very soon. I want to be able to take advantage of the holidays and all of the discounting and sales that we do to give you an early bird pricing on enrollment. So if you are interested in learning more about astrology, this isn't going to be your average like 6 to 8 week quick fix course. This is a collegiate style design. You are going to have about 6 to 7 months with the first part of the school, the Astrology 101 course. And then there's another 6 to 7 months with Astrology 201. 101 gives you the basics, the foundation of learning how to read your own birth chart or just kind of understand astrology when you're hearing about it, when you're maybe tuning into these moon circles or other transmissions about the cosmos. And then Astrology 201 goes deeper on a more professional level, helps you to read charts professionally as well. I am so excited about this. I already have all of the curriculum developed for the entire year for both programs. I have all of the lectures, the meetups, everything online scheduled already. I just have to put it all together online. I got to get all the tech stuff worked out. So keep an eye on your inbox, keep an eye on social media. I am going to be announcing enrollment for Astro-School very soon, and I can't wait to teach you more about the planets and the stars in Aquarius season. Okay, that's my plug. We are going to dive in now, first by opening up our circle, really making it sacred, inviting in the guides and guardians of the 5 elements and also those elements themselves. So, this is something I always like to do with my moon circles. I like to bring in the elements for extra energy and support. I want to start tonight by introducing you to some crystals and gemstones to work with. The first one being emerald. Now, emerald is an interesting stone. This is a rough cut emerald. So this isn't your fancy pants, precious stones emerald. It is the rough cut version. You can see a little bit of green there. And then it kind of looks like a gray, but that is a dark green with a little bit of a milky gray swirling in between. Emerald is a birth gemstone for Taurus, and this moon is in the sign of Taurus. Emerald also works with your heart chakra and your heart energy, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. This is a sign that embraces sensuality, that embraces more of a heart centered life. And if you need help with those aspects of your life, you might want to use more emerald. These are a little bit pricier as far as tumbled rough cut stones go, but they usually aren't any more than like maybe like 8 to 10 dollars. Just gonna throw that one down, I guess. We also have another green stone for the heart. Jade is a great one to work with right now during this Taurus full moon. Just enhances heart chakra, enhances attention to self. So it helps to bring about more self-care, self-love. This is a moon where we need to be a little bit more selfish, independent, paying more attention to ourselves. I mean, we're getting ready to go into the holiday season where we're going to have a lot more obligations. We're going to be giving of ourselves a lot more. So just for now, under this sacred pause of the full Taurus supermoon, get a little selfish. Take care of yourself, meet your wants, needs, and desires, and make sure that you're taking time for you. If you need help doing that, maybe get some jade in your life for more encouragement. I also like jade because it comes in a lot of those gua sha utensils, gua sha tools, or facial rollers. And Taurus is an earth sign, which encourages us to pay attention to our earthly human body. So you could go get a jade facial roller or a jade gua sha tool and just massage out your face. And that's a great way to connect to the jade as well. Finally, I would suggest working with rose quartz right now. Pretty accessible stone to get a hold of. Rose quartz is again connected to our heart chakra, also connected to the sacral chakra. And speaking of jade, if you have a jade yoni egg, you might want to utilize that right now, or a rose quartz yoni egg. There is a connection to the sacral chakra, the womb, and just sensuality, sexuality, all of that energy tends to come out with Taurus, because Taurus is represented by a bull, a fertile bull, or a pregnant cow, a cow that's giving milk, some sort of fertile, creative cow. And there's just a lot of energy around that concept of conception, creation, and the birth portal, whether it's physical or energetic. Rose quartz also helps you to move into more of your softer side, your yin nature. This sign is ruled by the planet Venus, which is the planet of feminine, the planet of yin, the planet of pleasure. And to bring out those qualities in your life, you might want to have more rose quartz. Also, if you just need to lean into your softer nature, rose quartz is a great way to do that. A lot of times, the bull is depicted as this angry animal or this one that's quick to trigger. And Taurus energy certainly holds that. But a Taurus moon tends to be more about that softer side of life. As much as the bull can charge when provoked, it does prefer to spend time just kind of being lazy in the pasture, taking naps, chewing on grass. And Taurus, the sign in the zodiac, is related to life's pleasures. It is an energy that assumes we are supported with our needs so that we can move into our wants, we can move into our cravings, we can relax, we can let our guard down, and we can give ourselves more of that sacred time to rest, to nurture, to nourish, and to give ourselves what we need. Now, in addition to these crystals and gemstones, I would also suggest bringing in some sort of smudging material right now. Full moons are a time of release, and this is the fullest, most super moon of the year. So, in order to really cleanse your spaces, you might want to smudge or bring in sacred smoke. I've got this beautiful rose, rainbowed petaled white sage stick. So we're bringing in a little bit of beauty into the transmission tonight in the theme of Venus. And then I'm going to combine this stick with our next element, the element of fire. I'm not getting fancy. It's just a good old like $3 lighter from the gas station. I mean, you could certainly light up in a more sacred way if you wanted to, but notice how the smoke is coming off right away. And this is our third element, the element of air or wind or smoke. And we're in autumn right now. We're in the season of Vata or wind. And I'm not surprised that we have a lot of smoke coming off with this full moon. Also, I mentioned I'm here at the yoga studio. I taught a private group and I taught a class with a lot of new people tonight. So I'm not surprised that we have a lot of smoke coming up. Now, this smoke isn't going to me at all. I always like to pay attention to where the smoke is traveling. It's going a little bit out in front of me to the studio space, but it's really mostly just going directly up. So it looks like we just need to kind of like purify the air that's been swirling around in here. And it's always good to pay attention to how the smoke is coming about. Is there a lot of smoke? Is there a little amount of smoke? Where is it going? And of course, always have a window or something open for the smoke to leave completely. This is going to gather up all the negative energy, all the negative stuff, and get rid of it. And so we want to make sure that it continues to take it away and it doesn't continue to linger around in your spaces. Now, already that smoke is starting to die out. I usually just let the smudging stick burn until it is done, and it's almost completely done. I always love when that happens because it shows that we're good. So there's a little bit of smoke left. I'm just going to take that to you and I'm going to take it around our equipment that I'm using to, transmit to you. And then I'm also going to, as I bump you all over the place, sorry, I'm going to take it around me, although I'm pretty cleansed. I spent the whole day cleansing yesterday, cleaning my house, and I think I'm pretty pure right now. So, in addition to those earth materials, the fire, the smoke. We also have the element of water. And I have several essential oils to suggest working with tonight if you're into aromatherapy. Of course, you can always just drink more water. Always good to do under a full moon. Flush out your system. Also good to detox during this time or do some sort of maybe cleanse, parasitic cleanse. Also a good time to make moon water. We're not underneath an eclipse or anything wonky, and it's a very powerful moon. So if you can, set out your glass receptacles, set up your moon water to soak up the lunar energy. And remember, you don't have to set out that water outside if you're worried that something's going to mess with it or if it's going to rain. You can always keep it inside and just put it like in a window where the moonlight shines in. Also, if it's cloudy or rainy, you're still getting the magic. You're still soaking up that lunar energy. It is still present. So don't worry about the weather. Just make your moon water. And you can make moon water up to 5 days after the peak of this moon. So you could continue to make moon water on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday to harness the full potential of this super moon. Me and my kid love to make moon water. He's super excited. So I'm going to make moon water tonight, and it encourages him to drink more water. So if you're a mystical, magical mama, just a little advice, maybe make moon water to get your kids to stay more hydrated. But I'm going to be making moon water tonight. I'll make it tomorrow for the peak of the full moon. I'll probably make it the next day or two as well, just because I'm trying to really cleanse and flush right now. But in addition to water, you can use essential oils. And I love essential oils actually to bring in all of the elements at once because you already have the earth material, whatever this oil was collected from. Maybe it was a flower petal, a bark, a stem, a root, but it's some sort of earth element. And then to collect the oil, there is a steam distillation process. So we're bringing in those concepts of fire and water. Of course, the oil is in liquid form, also relating to that water element. And when we use essential oils, we are connecting to aromatic properties of these plants and connecting to our olfactory system. And that also moves into the limbic system of our brain, which is more of the ether, responsible for energy, emotion, mood, feelings, just kind of all of that good stuff. And I always suggest working with oils alongside a carrier oil. So you can certainly use some of your oils straight, but if you use them with a carrier oil, they will last longer. They are aromatic, so they will adhere to the skin better if you're using them topically. And also, you want to make sure to dilute your oils with carrier oils if they're stronger. So I actually have rose here in my hands, as much as I suggested working with this rose quartz. You can also work with rose oil underneath this moon. And rose is one of the highest frequency oils. So we have this very high frequency, potent, powerful supermoon. Maybe use one of the highest, most potent, powerful essential oils. With that being said, this is very expensive. So if you're working with rose oil, you definitely want to use a carrier oil and dilute just to make your product last a little longer, be a little bit more eco conscious with the use of your oil, and also be a little bit more frugal with saving money on what you're spending and using. If you don't want to use rose because it's super expensive, you could also dive into geranium. Geranium is another floral oil that connects to fertility, creativity, and that Taurus energy. Be forewarned, it is a fertility oil. So if you are not trying to conceive a human being right now, if you're not trying to get pregnant, then you might not want to use geranium. But if you are not worried about that, or if you've got practices to prevent yourself from getting pregnant and you still want to be creative and fertile in other ways, you can use geranium. Finally, I would suggest using some grounding earthly oils because Taurus is a fixed earth sign. So you might want to utilize patchouli tonight. Now, I know a lot of people love patchouli and a lot of people don't love patchouli. So if you don't like patchouli, you might want to try vetiver instead. Both of these oils are incredibly grounding. They help to calm your energy, they support sleep, and they kind of connect you to more of that exhale or the bottom of the breath. They soothe your nerves, and they also mix great with the florals. So maybe some rose and patchouli if you don't like patchouli on its own, or lavender. You could also mix the rose with the lavender with vetiver as well. So those are the oils I would suggest working with tonight. And we've brought in all four of the elements, but I did mention there's a fifth element. It is the ether. It's that limbic system, but it's really anything beyond what we can conceptualize. It is the cosmos. It is the concept of angels and archangels and deities and maybe cosmic beings. And really, it just boils down to source consciousness or source energy, whatever you want to label it. I let that be the ether as a whole. And we have that with us here always, but we are going to enhance that energy of the ether now by bringing in the guides and the guardians of the five directions. So if you would like to join me, you can simply just relax, maybe close your eyes and take in this invocation. I'm going to start by taking a deep breath. And I want to start by inviting in the guides and guardians of the breath, of air, and the east, reminding us to take these deep breaths, to let go of what no longer serves, and to use the inhales to create more space. We also know that every breath is a new beginning, and we embrace what's ahead now as we breathe deeply and thank the guides and guardians of the East with their air for being present in our circle tonight. We also invite in the guides and guardians of the South with their element of fire, burning strongly right now as Mercury is in Sagittarius, as Mars is currently in Leo, and as we experience the solar reflection from the brightest, most full and super moon of the year. We know that fire can transmute, transform, and make change. So we invite in this fire and the guides and guardians of the South to help us make change with as much peace and ease as possible. We thank them for being present in our circle tonight. We also invite in the guides and guardians of the West with their element of water, still very strongly present with this Scorpio season, the energy of the sun. We also know that the moon affects our internal waters, emotions, and energy, as well as our internal sacral spaces where creativity and fertility flow. We invite in the magic of the water however we need to use it, and we thank the guides and guardians of the West with their water for being in our circle tonight. We also invite in the guides and guardians of the North with their element of earth, all of these earthly magical materials that we've brought into our transmission tonight, the crystals, gemstones, plant materials, smudging sticks, the sacred smoke, the aromatherapy with the essential oils. We show gratitude for all of it. We also invite in the wisdom of our ancestors, another form of that earth energy, helping to guide us as we continue on this journey we call the human experience. We thank the guides and guardians of the North with their earth elements for being in our circle tonight. And finally, we invite in the guides and guardians of the ether, the fifth element, all that ever was, all that ever will be, source itself. We thank you for being with us tonight in our circle. We invite in all the wisdom that you have to offer. With that, our circle is officially open, sealed, sacred, special. If you have anything you want to put in the chat now, if you're live, please put that in there. I'll check that chat in just a moment, but I do want to dive in to some of these other cosmic transits that are happening right now before we go deeper with the Taurus moon. We have to take into consideration what's going on with Venus right now because Taurus is a sign ruled by the planet of yin, feminine, sensuality, and pleasure. Venus is currently in Capricorn. It made a shift into this earth sign on 11/11, so just a few days ago. And now, when we have Venus in the earth sign of Capricorn combined with Taurus in this earth, or sorry, the moon in this earth sign of Taurus, we have a lot of earthy, grounded nature. Now, this also means that we might want to be more structured and organized right now. You might find that you're doing a lot of cleaning or tidying up. Maybe you're decluttering and going through things. Maybe in the spirit of a full moon, you're donating and getting rid of things. Sometimes people tend to do that on the other side of the holidays, but it's really better to do it before, because then you're making space for all that you're ready to receive. Capricorn is a very independent energy. It prefers to kind of own its own business, climb to the mountaintop, do it on its own, and not give up till it gets there. And don't be surprised if right now, with this Venus in Capricorn and also the moon in Taurus, that you may be more motivated to maybe do things on your own or figure it out, or maybe you're going on a new solo adventure. All of those things are very Venus in Capricorn energy. There's also a beauty to structure and government and rule and containment, which are all qualities of Capricorn. And right now, we do have a big shift with Pluto in Capricorn happening. So Venus is still lingering with Capricorn, helping us to pay attention to the sign and what it has to offer. But here in a few days, in 4 days, we are going to have Pluto shift out of its 16-year run in Capricorn into its next 20-year run with Aquarius. So, right now, Capricorn is asking us to prioritize what's important and get a little real in the process. You can think about having a reality check right now, if you will. Of course, here in Northern America, or Northern America, on the Northern Hemisphere in North America, in the United States, we just had our presidential election. And so there is a shift happening there, kind of a reality check of the new president and how that's going to play out or what that's going to look like. But also just thinking about the reality of our own life. Like, how are we ruling our own life? How are we providing structure to our own life? What laws are we abiding by in our own life? What standards are we setting? These are things that we want to pay attention right now, because Venus is in Capricorn and Venus affects our personal nature. Now, Pluto is more of a collective thing. Pluto is about power and control, a little bit of the underworld and the past. And this planet being in this shift from Capricorn to Aquarius is going to help us break free of the things that we no longer need to attach ourselves to, the limiting mindset or the limiting laws that we're abiding by that are outdated. There's going to be some restructuring on the collective with how we do function together. And hopefully, as we move into Aquarius, it will become much more open minded, freedom seeking, more for the sake of uplifting humanity and supporting us all as a whole. But do know that it is going to take time. Pluto is the most outer lying planet in our galaxy. It takes a long time to move around its orbit. And that is why this Aquarius shift is going to be 20 years. It's going to be a lot. So, right now, we are just beginning to move into that energy. We are just taking the first steps towards this new way of living, this new shift on perspective. So, give yourself patience right now. We have a lot of anxieties developing because the future is uncertain. And anytime we're in the shadow season, the season of like fall, the beginning of winter, Scorpio season, we tend to lean into those anxieties and those fears and those worries a little bit more. This full moon in Taurus reminds us that we are supported. Taurus energy has all of your bills paid. It has the roof over your head and the running water and the clothes on your back and the food in the fridge, and also gives you the permission to live a little, to splurge a little, to maybe go treat yourself, to maybe go spend a little bit more on life's luxuries. It reminds you that you have the ability to take charge of your life and bring in that beauty, bliss, and pleasure right now. The cosmic cow or the cosmic bull is a big energy. It's a grounded energy. We see the bull represented on Wall Street, for example. There's big money around Taurus season and Taurus moons, and anytime Taurus is influencing us. So make sure that you pay attention to the maybe bigger things that you can bring into your life right now, or the things that really spark your pleasure and bliss. You don't have to limit yourself so much with the way that you're exchanging energy. You can kind of go bigger if you would like. And this full moon being the fullest, most super moon being in Taurus really does remind you to go big or go home. And if you're going home, that's okay too, because Taurus likes to spend that time solo. Capricorn likes to spend time solo. So both of these energies, being in these earth solo signs, encourages you to do whatever you please, whatever brings you more peace and more of that union, or that what am I trying to say? Whatever brings you more of a solid foundation in your life, like whatever helps you feel more grounded, whatever helps you feel better with your energy, that's what you want to focus on right now. So a Taurus moon can be about money. It can be about the material. It can be about pleasure. It can be about fertility. It can also be a reminder to take back control and support yourself a little bit more, and not rely on others to provide that happiness, to provide that pleasure. You are the one that truly is in charge of that. So this full moon is going to initiate you into more of an independent nature. If you haven't felt that before, you might feel it now. Don't be surprised if you also just want to move in an entirely different direction, or shift and change your career path, or whatever you're doing to bring in more money and the material, because we are in between eclipse seasons right now. We'll have another eclipse season in the spring, and that will be the final of this Aries Libra series. During these eclipses, we can have a lot of change happen very quickly. So if there's opportunities to come your way, you might want to lean into them, especially if they're going down the path unknown. It could bring you in a lot more abundance and fortune in the future. So we've talked about Venus being in Capricorn. We've talked about this big shift with Pluto, and we've talked about the full moon in Taurus. These are all things happening kind of right now. And we also have Mercury in its pre-retrograde shadow. Mercury will officially start moving retrograde in Sagittarius 10 days after this moon on November 25th, just 3 days before Thanksgiving, and just in time for the holiday season. And it is going to impact the way that we exchange our energy. And Sagittarius tends to deal with more of the things that give us our self sustainability. So you want to be mindful of how you're spending over these next few weeks. You want to make sure that you're still getting your needs met before you go into spending and gifting and doing all of that. There could be also some impact on travel, because Sagittarius is related to long distance travel and international travel and exploration. So if you happen to be traveling during the holidays, just hold patience. There could be a lot of changes that happen very quickly with itineraries or logistics or rerouting. Also know that if you are booking travel plans from November 25th to December 15th, really from now until the beginning of the year, you are likely to have some things happen around those travel plans. Some things like changes could be made. Just make sure that you have receipts or travel insurance, because you don't want to get stuck losing out on money if something weird happens. We also have a lot of packages moving through transit during this time. We have a lot of things that we order online for the holidays. Don't be surprised if things get lost in transit or you get the wrong thing or it wasn't what you order. I'm sorry, I did not order from Temu. And all of y'all that do, I mean, more power to you, but I don't see a lot of positivities coming out of that. So maybe don't order on AliExpress or Temu or some of those sites if you're here in the United States because you're ordering from China. That's coming from a long ways away. And who knows what you're going to end up with or if you even get it. So be prepared. This is a great time in the spirit of full moons being a time of release. Digitally declutter. Go through all your tech, get rid of all your extra contacts that don't need to be there. Those are people taking up your energy for no reason. Same thing with social media. Unfriend, unfollow, get rid of the people you don't want taking up your space or taking up your energy or showing up and triggering you in life. Go through all those excess emails, your extra texts, just anything taking up space digitally. You want to make sure to manage that. You might also want to manage your finances and your money and your budgets right now. And just pay attention to maybe agreements, big purchases. I wouldn't make a lot of big purchases or electronic purchases anytime soon. If you do have to make them, get the receipts, get the warranties, and try not to sign any contracts. So maybe don't buy a car, a house, a boat, anything big like that. And don't go into any business partnerships until 2025. We have Mercury in its post shadow until about January 3rd. So you want to wait until after January 3rd to do all things involved with Mercury, which is agreements, communication, expression, travel, trade, buying expensive things, going expensive places, and just moving around and exchanging energy in general. So be patient. Patience is the theme of this moon. Okay, loves, in the spirit of patience, I want us to slow down time with a breathwork practice. This is for everyone here, whether you're getting the replay or you're tuning in live. We are going to do down regulating breathwork to help us relax. Taurus is an earth sign, and I joke that Taurus likes to spend a lot of time in bed. They enjoy their sleep, they enjoy their naps, their conscious rest. They also like leisure, lazy lounging time in the bed, watching movies, reading a book, eating snacks, having some cuddle time. Also enjoy some time in the bed in other ways, maybe a little sexy time. We've got that fertile nature of the cosmic bull, right? But we do have this grounding energy overall. So, in order to help you feel more grounded, feel more regulated, maybe just to help you relax a little bit more, we're going to do down regulating breath work. The great thing about this practice is you don't have to close your eyes if you do not want to. You simply focus on exhales getting longer and deeper than inhales. So let's try that now, maybe with a count of 4 and 8. Can you inhale 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just return to normal breathing. So as you lengthen that exhale, maybe you don't continue to move breath out the entire time. Maybe all of the breath has moved out, but you just let yourself linger in that apana energy, that earth energy, that space before you take the other breath in. And that's how you can meet that count as well. It does not have to be a double count from the inhale. You can just sense that your exhale is longer and deeper and has more intention than your inhale. Let's do this together now. Maybe find your posture so you can really breathe deeply in and out. And when you're ready, take a deep breath in. Deeper, slower breath out. And I'm breathing through the mouth there just to create that gentle sigh to really let go, but you can breathe through the nose as well. Deep breath in. Even longer, deeper breath out. And let's do this again in your own rhythm. Just encouraging those longer exhales, going at your own pace. Just like we did at the beginning of our transmission, maybe the whole body sinks as you breathe out. Maybe you really loosen up. Another deep breath in and out. And we'll do a few more like this. I don't know if you can hear the chime, but I've got my text going off in true Mercury fashion. I did set my do not disturb on, I thought, but maybe not. It's all good. We just breathe with it. Let's take maybe one more down regulating breath, sinking into the exhale. And when you're finished, just return to normal breathing. Maybe just take a moment to observe how you're feeling from that. Even I myself feel a little calmer. You can feel the change in the energy, but you can even hear it in my breath. I always feel a little better after taking those gentle sighs. That's really all it is. It's just a decompression or a de-stressing breath and helps us to get back into that grounded nature. So I share this breathwork practice with you tonight because it can help you with conscious rest and sleep. Maybe you just want to do more meditation. Maybe you're enjoying the practice of yoga nidra. Maybe you have something else you're doing to move into more of a hypnotic, restful state. You can try that down regulating breath to assist in that. Also, if you're just trying to get more rest, whether it's a nap or sleep in the evening or whenever you sleep, when you're trying to get that deeper sleep cycle, maybe try going into your sleep with the down regulating breath work to help you move more consciously into your parasympathetic nervous system response. It's rest, digest, and reproduce. So, again, just a quick side note PSA, just like geranium oil supports, just like geranium oil supports fertility, so does down regulating breath work. So if you are trying to conceive a human being, you might want to try a little bit of this breath work before you work on the process, or before, during, after the process, or just anytime you're working to create anything, anytime you're trying to conceive any new dream, new concept, new pursuit, maybe get into a little bit of down regulating breath work before you work on that manifestation. This breath work is also just good for your wellness, good for your overall health, a great way to help tend to your body by releasing physical stress. And when we're underneath an earth moon, we want to try to relax our earthly human body as much as possible. Anytime we're in a full moon, especially a full super moon, our circadian rhythm is impacted. We might not sleep as well. We might be restless, anxious, discomforts in the body impacting us. So use that breath work anytime that you need to find more sleep, but especially if you struggle to sleep tonight or tomorrow or in the next few days with this moon. Okay, loves, I have a tarot reading for you. I would like to share that, and then we'll be done with our collective circle for the replay's sake. But for our members, our 13 Moons members, we are going to do additional individual card pulls for each of you. And we will talk about our honey spell jars tonight for our magical practice. But for now, let's do the collective reading. So before I do this reading, I want to take a few deep breaths. Just to ground in, slow down. By the way, I was born in a post retrograde shadow of Mercury. And anytime we're in the pre or post retrograde, I get a little like mumbled with my words and mixed up with my communication. So thank you for your patience as I either mix up things or talk slower to try to not mix up things. I just want to take a breath and a moment to acknowledge the cards, to thank the tarot for being in our life. We invite in the messages of the cards and what they have to offer us. I pulled cards for past, present, and future guidance. For our past card, I pulled the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles is excited, ambitious, optimistic. He's got this big, giant pentacle or coin in his hand. There's a lot of yellow around him, representing that solar plexus energy or joy and bliss. There's also the orange that he is wearing, representing pleasure of the sacral chakra. And whenever we have page energy in the tarot, it is more of this excitable, like ready to go, ready to get started energy. So don't be surprised if this card is showing up to talk about an opportunity that you've recently had to maybe increase your bliss, your wealth, your abundance, your fortune. Maybe you've also just had a new idea or a new pursuit that you want to take come along in your life. We also have this idea of being grateful right now. So the Page of Pentacles reminds us to take note of all we have gained already. We have moved through harvest. We're coming up on the end of harvest now. So we can really think about what we are reaping from our efforts of this past year. Maybe that is physically, maybe you planted a garden. Maybe it's more energetically. Maybe you just take a moment to think about the goals that you worked on and what you received out of those goals, whether you met the end all or not, doesn't matter. Just what did you gain along the way? And in general, what have you gained in your health, in your fortune, in your network, in your mindset, in your crafts, your skills, your toolbox? What about energetically, emotionally, spiritually? There is sometimes a difficult journey ahead in shadow season to find the gold or to find the bliss. There's like a lot of shadow work that happens. A lot of our traumas come up. We get triggered a lot. We're spending more time in the cold, the darkness, isolation. We might feeling the pressures of the upcoming holiday season and having to do more, spend more, be more. And this Page of Pentacles comes in now to say, hey, even in these darker, more shadowy times, even when maybe you're feeling a little lower than normal, can you just embrace gratitude? Maybe it's just for your heartbeat, your life, and your breath. But the more we have this gratitude, the more we will gain in the future. So let yourself be optimistic right now and also be positive for what's ahead in the future. There is a lot to be gained on the higher side of things. In our present time, we receive a message from the Hanged Man card. And I always love this card because it's not what it seems. If you're not familiar with the tarot, sometimes this card people will go, ooh, what is that? It's like a guy being hung. Well, no, he's hanging by his foot and he could escape at any time. And he's actually pretty happy. There's a smile on his face. He's hanging out. He's doing a little inversion. Good for him to kind of dump out his mind and shift his perspective or think a different way or look at things a different way. And he also reminds us that we may need to be patient right now. We might need to wait around on things to happen. And there is the symbol for Neptune on this card. Now, Neptune, not really a lot going on there, but Pisces, which is Neptune's ruling sign, is coming into play right now with this full moon. Saturn has been retrograde in Pisces since June 29th. And on today, with this full moon, it finally goes direct again. When we have Saturn, the planet of constriction, karma, life lessons, going direct in Pisces, we are reminded that things are going to play out over time based on the action we took in the past, or our behaviors, or whatever standards we set, whatever energy we put out. It's all going to start coming into play now, but it still might take some time. So be patient as you navigate the future, as you navigate the changes ahead, as you work towards your dreams and try to make them come true, and also as you work towards more emotional stability and energetic attunement. When we have the Hanged Man coming in on a full Taurus supermoon, we are also reminded to be more in our feelings, pay attention to ourselves, to slow down and be patient with ourselves, give ourselves grace. So, as you work to become more harmonized within yourself, as you work to feel more peaceful within yourself, also give those efforts patience along the way because they may take time. Now, I mentioned that we also have Mercury retrograde getting ready to happen. And although Neptune is related to this card, I also see it as the Mercury retrograde card because it shakes things up, it turns things upside down, shifts the energy, and reminds us to slow down, turn within, and be more patient. If you don't have to make a big purchase right now, but you want to, can you just wait a little longer until the beginning of the year when Mercury isn't in its tricky stage of retro? If you want to sign a contract, if you want to make an agreement, if you want to pursue something, can you wait just a little bit longer? It will be worth it if you decide to hang out. Maybe more things will come to the table as time goes on. We also have the number 12 on this card, reminding us that we are wrapping up the end of a year. We are unfolding a new year. There's a lot of energy shifting with Pluto even. So things are going to take time before we see the real changes happening. Finally, for our future card, we have the Page of Cups. And it's another page card. So we have that optimistic, exciting, eager energy, almost anxious in a good way. And we have the cups. And notice the card. He's wearing this red cape. It's all about taking action when we have red. And then it's flowing into the cup. So we are taking action on our emotions and our energetic management. We are taking action on our crafts, our skills, our gifts, our creative magic. We are taking action on our pleasures, our desires, our cravings. And we're doing it all for the best of ourselves because both the pink around the card and the green on the gentleman here represent heart chakra. I mentioned that this full moon is a very heart centered moon because it's ruled by Venus. I also mentioned that it brings an independent nature, and we want to have more independence in our life right now as we get selfish and give ourselves what we want and need. This Page of Cups is reminding you to continue to prioritize yourself in the future, and good things will continue to come. A lot of this reading is about being more on our own, doing it ourselves, and being capable of it. On the Vedic side of things, Eastern perspective of astrology, we're in a lunar mansion known as Kritika Nakshatra. It means the one who cuts or the cutter, and is represented by like a blade, an axe, a flame, anything that makes a quick separation and a clean separation. And this is a sign or a lunar mansion that's also, I don't want to call it a sign, but it's a lunar mansion ruled by both the sun and the fire deity Agni. So the sun represents our ego, being selfish, letting the world revolve around us. Yes, please. That's what we need right now before we get into the busy holiday season. Agni brings in energetic fire to help burn away the impurities, the toxins. Full moons are about releasing, excuse me, resetting. Ooh, let me clear my throat. One more. Came out of nowhere. Let me grab a drink really quick. So those energetic toxins, negative energies, whatever it is, we want to get rid of it. And we do that underneath this moon. Kritika Nakshatra spans from Aries to Taurus. So we're from about 26 degrees of Aries to 10 degrees of Taurus. Now, on the Western side, Western tropical astrology, this moon is in 24 degrees of Taurus, but it's a little bit different from the Vedic perspective. But regardless, we have Aries and Taurus, which are both independent energies too. And Aries is a very assertive energy, very quick to make change, very spontaneous. So, again, don't be surprised if this moon brings you quick changes or just a desire to change very swiftly. There is also this energetic fire coming in to ignite our heart's desires, to help us prioritize what turns us on, what lights us up, what helps us explode into that ultimate orgasmic bliss. Maybe it is orgasm, maybe it's something else, but we are trying to achieve bliss and pleasure as much as possible underneath this moon, and we are trying to do it ourselves. We are always in charge of our own happiness. We are always in charge of how much pleasure we allow ourselves. We are in charge of the worthiness that we let in to experience life's pleasures and joy and beauty. So let this moon give you permission to prioritize all that you truly desire. Let the flames of Agni and the sun ignite your internal drive to set standards so that you can have more time to yourself. Let it be a drive to show up to yourself and give yourself more self care, tending to, nurturement, nourishment. There is a drive in the cosmos for us all to take care of ourselves right now because we're moving into the colder times of winter, the time of splurging and indulging with the holidays, the time of more energetic exchange, being out socially. So use this lunar portal now, just this very brief sacred pause to make sure that you are giving yourself what you are truly craving. Okay, loves, this is what I have for you. We're coming up on the hour. This is the end of our full moon circle for the those who are not in 13 moons. Gosh, I can't think tonight. Maybe because I also taught two classes and I'm in like Zen brain, but we are going to continue to be here with 13 moons members. I'm going to do our tarot card pulls for all members, and we're going to talk about our honey spell jars. So let's go ahead and find our postures. Maybe take a deep breath in and out. Just a nice, good release under this moon, settling back in. And I will take time now to release the guides and guardians of the ether, the Akash, source energy, source consciousness. We take in all of the messages that you have given us tonight. We thank you for being in our circle. We also dismiss the guides and guardians of the north, all of those earthly elements, as well as our ancestors and the wisdom they have to offer. We thank the earth elements and the guides and guardians of the earth for being in our circle tonight. We also dismiss the guides and guardians of the west with their element of water. The water reminds us that time is here, but we are also in control of it. The future is uncertain. What we have is the present, and we let ourselves be in this presence now as we thank the guides and guardians of the water and the West for being in our circle. We dismiss the guides and guardians of the South with their element of fire, arriving now with Agni and the sun under Kritika Nakshatra, arriving with this fullest, most supermoon of the year, giving us the solar amplification that we need to make change, to maybe get a little selfish, and to let go of what no longer serves. We thank the guides and guardians of the South with their fire for being in our circle. And finally, we dismiss the guides and guardians of the East with their element of air, bringing us fresh breaths, new beginnings, and a deep sensation of supportive letting go. We thank the guides and guardians of the East with their air for being in our circle tonight. With that, our full moon circle is complete. Thank you so much for taking time to join me and learn a little bit more about the cosmos and the moon and what's going on. Hopefully, you will be able to navigate things a little bit more consciously from here. Get ready for that Mercury retrograde arriving in 10 days. Be patient with this shift from Pluto moving from Capricorn into Aquarius. Also, be patient with this shift of Saturn going direct after being retrograde for many months of this year. Until we meet again, our next time together will be with the new moon in Sagittarius. We're going to be doing that one on Saturday, November 30th, 8 o'clock in the 13 Moons membership. Of course, if you miss it, you can always get the replay. Those replays are there in their full, unedited, raw length. You get the magical practices, the tarot readings, all of that. But if you aren't a member of 13 Moons, we do put up an edited version of the moon circles on my website, YouTube, and my podcast. So you can always tune in a day or two later if you want to. But we do have a free trial with all of the membership options now with 13 Moons. As I mentioned at the beginning, we have a sale going on through the end of the year. And if you decide to enroll in that Astro-School, Astrology 101, maybe also 201, if you join Astro-School as a student, you will get a 13 Moons membership for free. So if you are considering a membership, but also considering Astro-School, you might want to hold off and just wait on that. Of course, if you go ahead and sign up, get your free trial, whatever it may be. If you sign up for Astro-School and you are in a paying 13 Moons membership, I will fix that so that you're not paying for it during the time that you're a student in astrology school. Until we meet again, loves, I hope that you have a beautiful, blessed, full supermoon. May we all be happy. May we all be healthy and well. May we all feel safe and peaceful. May we all feel love, know love, be love, and love one another. Loka somastasu kino babantu. And so it is. And so it already is. And so it mote be. Blessed be. I'll see you soon.